right. Oop. Hello, everybody. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Sharing the Magic, where we celebrate the stories, we celebrate the people, the imagination behind the Disney world that we love. Today, we are thrilled to welcome AJ Wolfe. She is the author, now a New York Times best-selling author, which is amazing. I don't know if we've ever had a best-selling author. So maybe we have, I don't know. But I digress. And the book is Disney Adults Exploring and Falling in Love with the Magical Subculture. I've read the book. It's amazing. AJ is also the founder of Disney Food, the food blog, and Cambrick Yard Media. And her work has helped millions of Disney fans plan trips and discover hidden details and feel a little less alone in their love for the parks. I think what makes AJ's work so special is that she doesn't just treat Disney fandom like it's just something silly and something to just explain away. She takes it seriously and looks at all the joy and the nostalgia and the community and the criticism and the complexity of what it means to be an adult who still finds meaning in Disney magic. And before we begin, I want to just introduce our co-hosts, and we have Lisa tonight, we have Ashley, we have Dawn, we have Kat, we have Venerina, our Disney adults. That's who we are. So say hi, everyone.
Hello.
All right.
All
And
right.
AJ,
Hi,
welcome.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
Welcome.
you. It's great to be here.
I'm curious. So for our listeners, how would you define being what is a Disney adult? How would you in your world, how would you define that?
Sure. So this is something I really had to figure out because Disney adults has just sort of been a term online. It kind of first came around in like 2010, kind of gained a lot of traction 2020 during COVID when everybody kind of went online and wanted to be real mad about stuff. And so Disney adults has sort of become a controversial term that there's some stigma attached to it. Some people are negative about it. So in order to write the book, I had to figure out what is this? Because if you Google Disney adult, you Google a definition for Disney adult, it's going to be, you're not going to find anything definitive. You're going to find some Urban Dictionary definitions. You're going to find a lot of Reddit threads, but nothing really that digs into it at its broadest level. So talk to a bunch of psychiatrists and psychologists and people who study communities and tribes like this, and came to the definition of a Disney adult as someone who purposefully and intentionally welcomes Disney into their life. So brings Disney into their life in some way, shape, or form, kind of without having children attached to that. They can have children, but they would still love Disney even if they didn't. And again, it's Disney adults are kind of, there's lots of different Disney adults who like lots of different aspects of Disney. So there is kind of no one specific stereotype or definition.
That is true, because I've noticed even amongst us, we're all Disney adults, but if there's some of our guests, there's some of us that nerd out more from one guest and some of the others. Some love the Imagineering, some love, I'm a voice acting person. I love the voice actors, but we're all sort of, they're under the same umbrella, so it's been kind of neat. It's been an interesting ride. Hey, Lisa. So Lisa has a great question, and I'd love for you to ask that.
Yeah, I will. Given the length of time you've been with DFB, what inspired you to write this book right now versus 10 years ago versus 5 years ago?
Sure. And just to add to the intro, my company also owns allears.net. So if you're an All Ears fan, we also own and run that brand too.
Darn it, I dropped the ball. I should have done better research. I'm sorry.
A lot of people don't realize the history of that brand. It's been around since the 90s. Deb Wills started it a million years ago. And I grew up on that brand. And that's why I was really excited to have the chance to buy it when she was ready to sell. So I always want to make sure that people are consuming and watching that brand on YouTube, consuming it online, because it's a really an original OG Disney Disney
it.
fan brand.
sure.
So why now? Well, basically now because Simon and Schuster, who's my publisher, reached out to me because they wanted me to write the book. So it's that simple, really. My editor at Simon and Schuster is a huge Disney adult, and was a fan of Disney Food Blog and what we do here. And she reached out and said, "Hey, I really think someone needs to write this book, and I think it needs to be you." So I was very excited to get the opportunity to dive into that and cover something that's kind of controversial. And I think a lot of people expected the book to just be a fluff piece where I just sort of defended Disney adults, which is not what it is at all. And I think that's something that takes people by surprise when they read it, is that it's an extremely journalistic book, and there's a lot of information in there.
It is. And we were talking before you got here. When I read it, it was so funny because I was thinking the entire week about nostalgia. I was talking about nostalgia. Why would why, at what point does it become, a bad thing? At what point does it become a good thing? And then you tackle it and you have all this information, this really insightful, and I think you framed it like there's, is like reflective nostalgia. And what was the other one? Like restorative nostalgia? Was that the other one? And I was like, that's it. That nailed it. Because I know some people that say nostalgia. No, I got to grow up. I can't be Peter Pan syndrome. Nope. I just got to move forward. And they just give up all the things they love, or reminiscing, or watching the old cartoon that you did as a kid, or whatever it is. And then there's the other kind of nostalgia that I've seen, where it's constantly, I don't want to embrace the present for what the present is. I just want to bring back what was. And it's like, oh, that was that aha moment for me, because I thought that was so well said. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but just thank you, because I thought that was something that even in my own life, it's like, okay, it's okay to be nostalgic. It's not an either or thing. It's at what point am I using nostalgia and the things I love in my own life? Is it a productive, healthy way, or is it something that's actually keeping me from living in the moment?
Yeah. Yep. And that's the same thing that you have to think about with, later in the book, we sort of talk about Disney kind of as an addiction and the way people use it as an escape. And it's the same thing there, right? There isn't a black and white line that makes something healthy for you or not. It really depends on how it affects you as a person, and if it's causing you to hurt yourself or somebody else in the process. That's kind of how you want to kind of look at your hobbies that sort of verge on addictions. So there's a lot of kind of discussion about that in the book too.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to go next? I'm going to call on someone. I don't like dead air. No dead air.
I'll go. I want to know, if you take it way back from the beginning, when was your first introduction to Disney? Because obviously you have a love for Disney. So as a Disney adult, I do have kids, and my poor children have been 1,100,000 times, but they love it too. But I think as a Disney adult myself, going without kids, we're always searching for that same high we got the first time. I'm not a drug addict, by the way, just for, but that same emotion, whether it was in the fireworks or riding that ride or whatever it is, that experience, if it's a cast member that says something to you that gives you those warm fuzzies, you're always searching for that first feeling that you had at the very beginning. So when was your first feeling, and when did you get the bug? And then elaborate on that.
Yeah, I kind of grew up. My family would go on spring break trips. We didn't go to Disney World very often, probably went a couple of times. And when we went to Disney World, it was actually going to a beach in Florida and staying in a condo. And then we would go to Disney for one day, right? So rope drop to fireworks. That was back when it was only Epcot and Magic Kingdom. And so we would do the whole day and then drive home with the kids asleep in the back and kind of carry them inside. And that was the whole thing. So probably went to Disney a couple of times. like literally a couple of days when I was younger. And then I started to watch the ABC sitcoms where the families went to Disney World, which is brilliant marketing on Disney's part. And I was like, you guys, we should go to Disney World. Yeah, this is when I was a teenager. And so my parents were like, all right. So we went down to Florida again and did like one day at Disney or whatever. It really wasn't probably until I was in college that Disney sort of became an escape for me and something that I really wanted to make a major part of my life. So probably my graduate school years, and then when I moved to New York and started working, those were kind of that was kind of when it started to become something that I needed. So I mean, in the book, I talk about it absolutely being addiction for me during those years and something that was an unhealthy one. So I use kind of myself as an example for that, but that's probably the time frame.
Yeah, cool. Kat has some. She says you have some. Or Kat earlier, she said she has not silly. I forgot what you said. Not silly questions, but lighthearted. Maybe it was what it was.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite question that I ask people who love Disney because, you know, I feel like for most people, when you ask, like, oh, would you ever go to Disney or have you been to Disney? And they're like the one-time people. And of course, then there's us who, you know, my kids will ask all the time, like the kids that I teach, they'll be like, you're going to Disney again? Didn't you guys just go like around Christmas time? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's a thing. Like, yeah, we go a lot. And they're like, what do you even do? Like, why do you even keep going? I was like, well, that's kind of the fun thing is there's always something new or there's always, you know, something that we haven't tried or haven't done or that we love and that we do again. I was like, I don't know. We kind of mix it up every time. And then there's the next tier, which is I guess the most unhinged question is what's your biggest bucket list Disney experience? There's so many different things out there. There's across all the parks around the world. There's like all these different, you know, unique experiences. You know, there's the clubs and then there's the special little like once in a lifetime little thingies. What is yours? Because I know mine, but have to know.
Well, I kind of done all of my bucket list things.
Wow.
I would say something that I absolutely love and would do again and again is probably Tokyo Disney, Tokyo Disney Sea, Tokyo Disneyland. I think those parks are so well done. And there's always kind of more to experience there. I never get to do everything I want to do when I'm there. So those are some great parks. I love them.
Is there like a high profile experience or like a fancy suite you'd want to stay in that you haven't, or, you know, anything there that you've noticed is like, oh, that's unique or that's special?
Not really. I've
Wow.
even been to the Club 33 over there. So I don't really like
You're so content, you know.
Oh my goodness.
I am.
I love that.
And you know what?
Good.
It's really funny because in the book, something that I noticed when I was doing the book is that a lot of the Disney adults that I was interviewing, one of the questions that I would ask them is, you know, do you get a lot of flack from, you know, people in your life that you know, oh, you're going back to Disney again. Why are you doing this? Kind of what you were saying, Kat. And their responses were like, well, yeah, but it doesn't really bother me. What I really hate about Disney adults is other Disney adults, which I thought was very interesting. And the first time I heard that response, I was like, well, that doesn't really jive with what I want to write about. So I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. And I'm going to ask somebody else this question to get the answer that I actually need. And everybody answered that way, completely on their own. And I was like, well, there is something here to unpack then. And what I realized is that there is such I guess, kind of a poisonous hierarchy that's a part of Disney adulthood in the same way that it is in any community, right? And I personally have had a lot of experience with this in church communities where, you know, all of these people are just kind of being nice to each other and to their faces and then just trying to one up each other everywhere else.
Yeah.
Mean girls.
So,
I'm
mean
a
girl,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I kind of tried to dig into that a little bit in the book and try to figure out, okay, well, what does that look like? I mean, it means you're part of a broad and potentially, you know, very nourishing community. And that's, anybody will tell you that in order to stay healthy and supported, you need to be a part of that community. But all of those communities have another side.
Mhm.
And in ours specifically, there is a one-upmanship that happens. And when I was surprised by that, I think, because I've been in this community for so long, and I've gotten so many fabulous opportunities doing what I do, that I didn't really have any of those things that I guess that people could kind of hold over me and say, well, you're not as good as I am because you don't have an annual pass, or you haven't, done this or been there. And I just don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those things that was really surprising to me. And I'm like, well, that really sucks that people feel that way, but I can
Yeah.
totally understand it, because I've been part of communities before where I've absolutely felt that way, that I was somehow less than somebody else because I had either made a choice to or couldn't do something that they thought was somehow important. So anyway, to me, and I have one of my degrees is in psychology, and I'm super into that whole, here's how people, I guess, interact with one another, and somehow, that very core biology of ours to be better than other people. It's been really interesting to look into that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a great point. And I can speak to it. I'm an ordained pastor, so
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my world, and
There's a
and,
lot. There's a lot in there, and I used to be a missionary. I've been in a lot of church communities in my life,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, wow, some of this is really poisonous and really
Yeah,
toxic,
and that's
and
when it
it's
becomes a country club more than what it's supposed to be.
yeah, and
It's
it's because
this
we're
sort of
humans, and that's what humans do, right?
yeah,
And so we have to kind of give ourselves grace in that, but also say kind of like, okay, this isn't
yeah.
helpful to
Well, and I
everybody.
think
Yeah.
that's what's so good about your book is like it's so, it's not making like a case for why, being a Disney adult is
No.
A-okay. It's like, well, here's what it's very even keel. It's very like, and it's
Well,
deep.
it's just stepping out of it and
It
looking at
is.
it.
Yeah,
It's an observation really more than anything else. And it's
that's
just like,
right.
oh, that's interesting. Because I
Yeah.
think I've always sort of felt like I'm a little bit I'm a little bit different from everybody else. I'm a little weird, you know? And so I
I get
feel like I've
that.
always
I
sort of been
understand that.
stepping back and looking at people and going, oh, is that normal? Is that how normal
Yeah.
works?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did with this book, is just step back and be
I
like, oh,
love it.
okay, this all
Yeah, you're
makes
the
sense.
best person to do that if that's how you feel. It's like I used to always think, especially in the church world, it's like, oh, I'm a black sheep, and then my boss is like, you're not a black sheep, Jeff. You're an odd duck. And I thought, okay, I'll take that.
Is that
That's
better?
I don't know. Who knows?
don't
But it
know.
makes someone like you a perfect person to write a book because you have the ability to go, I don't quite fit in all the places. I'm not just going to like,
Exactly.
I'm not seeking homeostasis. I just
Yeah,
want to.
I've never really fit in anywhere, so I've always been kind of looking from the outside anyway,
Perfect.
which I think a lot of us in the Disney fan community feel. I think that
Yeah.
there's a huge element of folks who have finally found a place they fit in when they never really fit in anywhere else, which
Yeah,
I think is another a reason why this is such a great community to have.
for sure. For sure.
Well,
All
and it's
right.
understanding the mechanism too, because since it is everywhere, and yeah, there's always a good and bad side to the coin, and there's a difference between all of us that want to be in the moment and appreciate being there on the first day something opens, and then there's always somebody that has to be first and makes it everybody's problem. And so I know exactly what you meant by that. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
When
Yeah,
you were talking
the
about
psychology of it is so interesting to me because,
yeah,
and it's probably
Yes.
helpful for a lot of people because they could read the book and go, oh shoot, do I do that? You know, I mean, that's not a bad thing to go, oh, am I using, let's say, nostalgia? My favorite part was chapter 2. It's like that nostalgia thing. Oh, in what way do I use nostalgia in not healthy ways? How could I fix that? And that's why this book is so good.
yeah.
It's just really, anyways.
I had a lot of
AJ,
people say, like, I really, it made me feel ways I wasn't sure I liked.
Yeah.
So which is fine. That's always good. You should always strive to kind of
Because it's not just a reflection
challenge
on,
yourself a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. It's just not because your book, it's like, it's not just a reflection on Disney. It's a reflection on so many other things like music and smells and nostalgia and the way so it's a lot more. I think someone who's not a Disney adult could absolutely read it and it would just be a good sort of vehicle to sort of reflectively think about themselves and their own lives. It's more, to me, it's more than
Everybody has
Disney.
a hobby. Everybody has a hobby that they wish they were doing instead of going to work on Monday morning. And a lot of people spend a lot of money on whatever that hobby is. And
Yeah.
so this book really at its core is looking at a community and a bunch of hobbyists and how they approach that hobby. And I think everybody can relate to that.
Absolutely. When you said
Ashley,
that-
go ahead, Dawn.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you said that you stood back and like observed Disney adults to kind of see it from the outside, I feel like Disney has done that also, because they have merch that's Disney adults. They have the Beacon Barrel, the Geo 82. So they're catering to adults more. So they're listening to our needs. So it's like perfect timing. Do you have anything you can weigh in about how Disney responded to the book?
Disney didn't respond to the book at all. So, and they didn't want me to interview anybody at Disney for it. So I didn't. But what's interesting about how they are catering to adults is they're fully aware that there's a generational shift. Gen X, millennials, Gen Z not having children.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically not having children. And so, or if they are, they're having one. And so they're recognizing that we're going to have even more adults in the parks without kids, and we're going to have to figure out how to give them things to buy. And so that's what they're doing with that, right? That's a shift you're going to see more and more. You're going to see a lot more lounges, I think, because lounges are a way for them to make a lot more money without having to take up a table for more than 45 minutes. And they can sell alcohol, they can sell food, so they can turn the tables over faster and make a higher profit. You're going to see a lot more of that, and other things like that are adult focused, adult centric, because these particular generations have more money than the earlier generations did, who were spending it on their children. And so these folks have more money and are also willing to go ahead and be nostalgic and buy the stuff they couldn't buy when they were kids. So they're allowed to buy that now, and they will.
Okay, I got to reflect on that. I'm like, oh my,
I know.
you're
That's
you're absolutely
great.
right. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, Ashley, so I want to be respectful, AJ, of your time, and I think we have only 4 or 5 minutes left. So I want to make sure Ashley and Venerina, you all go.
I mean, pretty much everybody else has asked what I was gonna ask, but but yeah, I can totally relate when you were talking about the church thing and the Disney thing. Like, thankfully, I belong to a church that is full of Disney nerds because I live behind the Magic Kingdom, so all of our activities are themed around Disney. So that was I finally found a church where I fit in.
You fit in twice.
Yeah, everybody's a Disney nerd like me.
I love it. That's awesome.
And we like to do adult Disney cruises. We don't have any kids. We have 2 fur babies, but those are our addictions. We're like, let's just go for a week as adults on Disney cruise.
Totally. And there's a lot.
You're on one right now.
Exactly. There's a lot to do on cruises for adults too. They make it so easy. So it's wonderful.
All right, Venerina, my friend. Oh, you're muted. Oh, you are muted. Oh, yeah, there you are.
Okay. So when you find out about a new food or a new ride opening, so how does that process work for you? Because you get the content out so quick. So I know it's I'm not an influencer, but I'm a wannabe. But I try to film the rides and stuff, and the quality is no comparison to yours. But how do you get there so quick and create excellent content?
So I have an incredible team. I have 50 people on my payroll, and they are in the parks. They are in Disneyland and Disney World every single day. We also, again, we've been doing this for almost 17 years. And so we kind of have it down to a science that we know when Disney is going to do those cast member previews, and we have cast members on our team, and they get preview slots and they go in. And but a good example for this is today, Rock and Roller Coaster cast preview started. We wrote it this morning. Several of my team wrote it this morning. But Disney specifically told cast members, do not publish photos, do not publish.
Yeah, I wrote Soarin' today. I got to do a
videos.
cast preview of Soarin'.
Yeah. But Disney said, don't publish anything about Rock and Roller Coaster. And so we are not publishing anything about Rock and Roller Coaster, except for the things that they have already released themselves. And we are going to, stick to that request and that guidance, because we have no desire to go against Disney's wishes in those points. If they don't want their cast members to post, then of course we're not going to post anything. So we'll wait until, annual pass holders go and they're allowed to post. So we won't post our content until, Wednesday or whatever day we're allowed to. So we always know when this stuff is happening. We're always there first. We're usually at least close to the front of the line. But it's because I have a huge team and they're incredible and they're on top of everything. And we've got, Slack channels and Google Docs and Asana task lists and everything just really packed out and fine-tuned to make sure that our audience gets everything they need as soon as we can possibly get it to them. So that's what we're constantly doing, is trying to figure out how to be even more valuable to our audience. Because that's something, as an influencer wannabe, that's something that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people ask me, AJ, I want to be, I want to be a creator. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a blogger, whatever. What's your advice? And my advice is always that nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you or what your opinion is until you add value to their lives. And so that's something that my team understands intimately. Is it's not about us. It's not about, we are simply a lens for our audience. So we're going to make sure that every single piece of content we create isn't, for lack of a better word, we've been talking a lot about church, but isn't glorifying or spotlighting us, but is instead making sure that the audience is getting exactly what they need so that they aren't wasting a bunch of money in Disney World. So I think that's a good piece of advice for any sort of creator, is like, nobody cares about you until you can show how you can actually benefit them. So thinking about that in terms of what you create.
That's good. Hey, AJ, thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Taking time out of your life and schedule.
I'm glad I got to talk to everybody.
And we get it. We did it, everyone. We're efficient. Yes. How can we help support you? Or for the listeners, where can we find you? What can we, all that stuff.
Does she have a turkey leg? What's going on?
I know.
or is that one of the fur babies?
It's her dog.
It's her
my
fur baby.
See,
That's a good dog name, by the way. Turkey leg.
All that food blog is brainwashed.
This is
you.
Bill.
I know. It looked like a
He's the
turkey
center
leg
of
for a
attention.
second. Oh, that was so funny.
My next dog will be named Turkey Leg.
Yeah.
Please
you
do
can
that.
find me at disneyfoodblog.com, at disneyfoodblog on social, DFB Guide on YouTube, allears.net, allears.net on YouTube. All of those places you can find us.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. We'll end it. So we'll end it. So, but we'll just say thank you for being here, and hope you have a very good week and all that.
Thank you.
Congratulations also.
Yes.
Thank
absolutely.
you so much. Thank
We
you.
hope to see you again. I would love for you to come
All
back at some
right.
point.
Sounds good. Yeah, it
All
was
right.
an honor to be able to write the book. And thank you so much for letting me be here to talk about it.
All right. Thank you, AJ. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. All right. I'm gonna lead us out in our. Hold on. Sorry, internet. You're gonna have to wait. Here it is. Oh, I got an outro. I need to learn how to make a smooth transition. But here we go. Let's see. I don't know. Who knows? There it is. All right, everyone. Check this out. This is Caitlin if you don't know, this is Caitlin Robrock. She was awesome. She recorded this for us. Caitlin Robrock is the voice of Minnie, and this is her. So she's going to lead us out. Thank you, Caitlin. Oh, wait. You probably can't even hear it. Here it is. Share sound. All right.
Thank you for joining us for another enchanting episode of Sharing the Magic. We have magical conversations that are crafted to your ears. The edutainment show where education and entertainment collide each week. We bring you whimsical interviews with Disney guests who share their magical experiences and reveal how they are woven into the Disney fabric. Don't forget to hit that follow button to stay updated on our latest episodes. Spread the word and let your friends know they can tune in wherever they enjoy their favorite podcasts. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter, at @SharingTheMagicPod. Until next time, keep sharing the magic and rattle the stars.
That sounds so much like Barry. I bet he wrote that.
That was
Keep
so cute.
rattling the stars.
That
was really cool.
cute.
Yeah, we'll get better at it too. We have an intro too, and anyways, but all right. Well, awesome interview, all, and we'll see